just history. So, oh, St. Martin, sweet St. Martin, where has your culture gone? Mr. Lamini Band no longer plays in Phillipsburg on holiday. We don't dress in orange clothes for the Queen's birthday. We don't see no donkey race in town. Can't pick salt out of that pond. Where has our culture gone? I am asking Lou, where has our culture gone? As a boy without toys, there were so many things that I'd enjoy. Now no trace or any place to remind me of that 10 cents.
Good St. Martin, and season's greetings. My name is Joey Ronald Jr. As we are approaching Christmas and the New Year, I would like to make the public of St. Martin aware of their health before going into the feast days. In the feast days, we eat and eat without paying attention on our health. There is a study done from the World Heart Federation that worldwide 1.3 billion people is affected by high blood pressure, and 10 million people dies of high blood pressure worldwide. On the 18th of December 2022, we will have an afternoon where there will be the Diabetes Foundation and my leader, Dr. Luke Marcelino from the URSM, who will check in for high blood pressure and also giving an absolute free consultation on your results. Of course, food and drinks will be available, and of course a little bit of music. I would like to remind you, St. Martin, a healthy people is a happy St. Martin. I also would like to thank you for looking at this video. I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you there.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. All right, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? Of course, it is all about the season of giving, and we continue to get the best out of this government, particularly from the independents. Member of Parliament, Grisha Martin, has called for independence for St. Martin. Can somebody please let us get independence from Grisha Martin, please? Let's just go independent, and then we don't have to deal with her independent ideas, because 1 year it was decolonization, and we need to decolonize because according to the UN, we're supposed to be decolonized, and therefore we're gonna go to the UN, and then we're gonna get decolonized, and then we will be one step further towards now independence. What's it gonna be tomorrow? A colony? I just so confused, you know. And of course, she sent out the press release, and she gave her justification in a Dutch media, where she gave her opinion about us having to go independent because, you know, we are being mistreated by the Dutch, the same Dutch that we want an apology from. I just, St. Martin is not a real place, but it could be. In any case, speaking about not real things, the airport, the Princess Juliana International Airport, XSM Airport, continues to be neglected by the worst CEO in St. Martin history, Brian Mingo. Now, of course, a meeting was called about 4 weeks ago. Yeah, 4 weeks ago, Savage Chris put in a request for an urgent meeting of Parliament to be called concerning the airport. Up to this day, we have not heard a peep from the Presidium of Parliament. And that's Kuki Bailani, that is, of course, Rolando Bryson, and that is William Marlin. Not one word as to when this urgent meeting of Parliament is supposed to take place. But yet, they used to bitch about the reason why they had to get rid of the former President of Parliament, Grisha Martin. When Minister Doran had to be called, within one day it was called, and urgent meetings have to be called within 4 days. And we are 4 weeks later, going on 5 weeks, and we cannot have a meeting of Parliament concerning our airport. But yet the minister, well, two ministers, Minister Anna Richardson and Minister Omar Otley, Minister of Everything, is in Parliament today, Monday, to discuss resident permits and immigration policy, a request that Sarah Westcott Williams put in a year and a half ago, and it's a committee meeting of Parliament. Who is in charge of scheduling these meetings? I don't understand who's running this place. MP Bonkamper, suspended member of Parliament, had much to say about it in his Monday's podcast. Take a listen.
They have a sickness down there that they must continuously lie about things. Now they even running promotional errands about, oh, take this, come down there, we're going to put a hard hat on you, and we're going to see. Listen. At the end of the day, we are 5 years further with that airport. 5 years. You can blame Michael Hyman, but he was moved. The people at the helm right now are there for 3 years nearly. And yet, we can't build an airport. And yet, all of those that were involved in preparing the terms of reference are the same people now working for a company telling us we got to do this paint and that paint. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Just build the airport. And if you can't do it, step aside. Leave somebody else do it. But we got to understand a few things. Because this airport is living a life of its own in this country. It is the backbone of our economy. Parliament requested a meeting 1 month ago to get updates on what's happening. For whatever reason, the chairman has not honored that meeting yet. Not the former chairman, not this chairman. So when I say the former chairman, I'm talking about MP William Allen, not this chairman right now, MP Kuki Biliani. None of the two have honored the meeting. I checked the schedule for this month because this is the last meeting week and there is no such meeting on the roster. And the question is simple, why not? What is there that government cannot explain or answer to the public? Because the airport is becoming a second GB. Where the Prime Minister was saying one thing and an hour later the board members were screaming at her with foul language, telling her she don't know what she's talking about and she's a liar. Again, at the airport now, we are getting the same nonsense. Or is it because somebody has a concession to protect them there that they ain't calling a meeting? Because this is the way we're going to start talking about it. I'm going to show a personal stake of interest so that you understand why things don't happen. Because that is the way it is going to be moving forward. I will keep it professional, but I will show the path why certain things can't happen or won't happen. Maybe then we will start getting a little more transparent. Because we talk about transparency, but we sure as hell don't show it.
All right. Now, they had a Thanksgiving ceremony that took place last week, Sunday. And of course, it's to give thanks to the Almighty for sparing us another hurricane-free season. Okay. Of course, it was a very interesting, very interesting ceremony, and we have the highlight of the ceremony So let's get to the Thanksgiving ceremony highlights.
तेरा हर दिन रात गुरुजी शुक्र करा गुरुजी शुक्र करा मेरी बनी रहे जी बात गुरुजी शुक्र करा गुरुजी शुक्र करा मेरे बदल गए हालात गुरुजी शुक्र करा मेरी बन गई बिगड़ी बात गुरुजी शुक्र करा
Okay, so just to let you know, the Thanksgiving ceremony wasn't that holy. It was just fun to do that. But it was interesting, so let me give you a real highlight.
The 2022 hurricane season, without fear of undue loss or heavy infrastructural damage or the uncertainty of economic rebound, and thankfully, because we are still in recovery from 5 years ago, compounded by the pandemic and the economic downturn that followed soon after. So therefore, it is with gratitude that St. Martin is being ushered toward stiller waters in the coming months. God has blessed us with time to regroup and recuperate and hopefully also recover, to learn from our previous experiences and to be even better prepared for the year 2023 and beyond. We as a people are grateful for the circumstances that we were able to celebrate unity as one island, North and South, on St. Martin Day, joined together by our different socioeconomic standards, but standing side by side, linked through the shared culture and togetherness, shared bloodlines that bind us. We are grateful that as a unified people who band together in the times of strife, who band together in times of laughter, in joy and in happiness, that we continue to persevere and progress. We are blessed by the kindness and humanity on display every single day in the manners, big and small, even with the simplest gesture of a thank you, of a good morning, neighbor, how are you? That sets us apart from all others around the world and locks us.
Have mercy on us. And Jewish Jesus dismissed the cultural expectancies and responded. I want to pause to say I am thankful that Jesus responds irrespective of your culture, irrespective of your preference, irrespective of who love you, who hate you, who want to see you alive, or who wish they can kill you. Jesus loves you and Jesus will respond. And Luke 17, we are in verse 14 and 15. Jesus said to these 10 lepers, go, show thyself to thy priest. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. So they left the presence of Christ covered with leprosy. And as they journeyed to the priest, the leprosy disappeared. In other words, their skin was being restored gradually. Jesus don't need human resources to fix you. We are living in an instant society. My parents used to tell me how they used to write letters and it would take 2-3 weeks to get to. Well, I'm thankful that I was born, raised, and still lives in a society whereby at the touch of a button, boop, 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 the message goes to England. And in less than 2 seconds, I receive the message back. And I can stand here and speak to my brother all the way in England, and I can see his face. In other words, we want God to respond instantly. And sometimes God says, listen, I will respond to you, but in order to reap the benefit of my response, you ought to apply faith. You ought to walk by faith and not by sight. Because if you walk by sight, you will love me because of what your eyes can see. You will only praise me when you see your gift coming. I want you to understand that I love you, therefore trust me. Jesus said to these lepers, go show yourself to the priest. And as they walked, their skin were restored. Here comes the point. Had they not walked away from Christ's presence, they would not have been healed. And verse 16 says, and one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and with a loud voice glorified God. Now let's get into the message. As the one recognized his healing, he returned to Jewish Jesus to acknowledge his omnipotence and to express gratitude. And verse 16 of Luke 17 says, and he fell down on his face and his feet, giving him thanks. Now the act of falling on one's face and the knees is called prostration, or to prostrate yourself. Slaves, when approaching their king, prostrated themselves and could not look directly onto the face of their king or their slave master. To look directly on the king's face or the slave master's face implied that you had the same authority as him. So the slave would approach with his head bowed, and when he got to the king's presence, he had to kneel down or prostrate himself until the king asked him to rise or look up. And this leper expressed his gratitude as if he was a slave. Now that you understand his dilemma, now let's understand his praise. If I were to ascribe words to this leper's first century gratitude act of prostration, it would read something like this. I was abandoned to death's door and you deliver me. Jesus, Master, I thank you. You've done for me that which history never witnessed. Jesus, my Master, I thank you. I could not get employment to purchase food, but now I can. Jesus, Master, I thank you. Due to my circumstances, I was emotionally isolated, abandoned by happiness, and abused by feelings of helplessness. But now I've been redeemed and restored. Jesus, I thank you. No longer will I be seen as a disease. I now have a future hope. Jesus, I thank you.
Okay, welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope that you are sticking with us for the whole hour. Of course, we have a good show planned out for you. Let's begin.
Jam where we want it. DJ Sexer presents BBB, the Booyah Birthday Bash, celebrating DJ Sexer's birthday. It all goes on Saturday, December 17th at XO Nightlife, featuring Yuri, CO the Artist, Devon George, aka Michaela,
I like this like Michaela,
and Dirty Dog Pudas.
Right now he's backers.
Plus a surprise guest artist. Also with music by DJ G-Star, DJ Bruckshot, DJ Jojo, DJ Siwo, DJ Darian, and Top of the Top DJ Blaze. Tickets are $25 early bird, $30 in advance, and $35 week of the show. Tickets available via the K-Band app or call 553-5364. Doors open at 9 p.m. until 4 a.m. Contact 556-0361 for VIP reservation. Saturday, December 17th at XO Nightlife. We're celebrating DJ Sexer's birthday with the Booyah Birthday Bash, presented by DJ Sexer and JW3.